Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's with considerable pleasure that I am able to address you, at least I hope I am able to address you this evening, and to wish you a very, very pleasant day's golf tomorrow. It's thanks to Bo that the dinner matches were created, and I am due him a huge thanks for the enormous amount of work that he has put into the organisation of these matches together with Bruce. Very quickly, the background to the dinner matches goes back in history. And you probably find that in 1734, when the Honourable Company of Edinburgh Golfers was first created, followed by the Royal and Ancient Club in 1754, that the dinner matches started. And this was when people arrived from their country estates to arrange games between themselves, wagering fairly large sums of money together. The prominent clubs that subsequently took on these dinner matches were, of course, Muirfield, St Prestwick, St Andrews, and in England, probably Sunningdale, Royal St George's and Hoylake, and in Northern Ireland, Royal County Down. They have proven popular over all these years and still maintain a very popular part in the if you like, the camaraderie of the clubs. I think that perhaps the best thing I can do is maybe try and give you an idea of what happens at Prestwick, where club dinners are probably the most popular of all events held for the members at the club, and they comprise a black tie dinner on a Friday evening, followed by 36 holes of foursome matches the following day. There are 4 dinners held each year: February, March, June and October. And as you can imagine, competition for places at dinner is fierce. And the entry sheet will go up in the smoke room probably 4 weeks before the dinner. And members who live outside Scotland and have to arrange flights may contact the secretary more than 4 weeks in advance to try to get a place, but this cannot be guaranteed. The secretary will always ensure that at least half of the places are still available for local members when the sheet goes up. A member of the club acts as the recorder, and he is the most important part of the proceedings. And it is interesting that the recorder's position at Prestwick differs to that of the recorder at Muirfield, who differs to that the recorder at the Royal and Ancient Golf Club. But their role is to set the matches to be played the following day and to accept wages from the participants on the outside of the game, on the outcome of the games, I should say. He will decide on the matches prior to the dinner. Matches are normally set so that both teams are roughly equivalent skill, on paper at least, and no handicap strokes are given, or very, very few. During the dinner, a sheet of the matches to be played will be passed around the table to give the diners an indication of who they will partner and who they will be teamed up against. After the dinner, the participants will gather in the smoke room, and the recorder will call each match individually and accept wagers on the outcome. Each diner will be given a sheet showing the matches so that they can record any bets that might be placed. Wagers are placed in units of 25 pence, so 100 units equates to £25. Nowadays, this sum is comparatively paltry as opposed to what happened in the 18th, 19th and early 20th centuries, where very, very much larger sums of money were wagered. Wagers are normally placed for between 50 and 400 units, and the recorder will try to get an equivalent value of wagers for both sides of a match. He has to underwrite any loss in his book, after all. If one side is more heavily backed, he will sometimes ask for support for the underdogs to try to even the betting up. If that is unsuccessful, he may reduce the amounts wagered on the more favoured side. After all bets have been taken for an individual match, the recorder will call out the wagers he has taken. If he has misunderstood your bet and placed it on the wrong side, this is your chance to record it, or indeed correct it. If not, you may suffer the consequences. The recorder will repeat the above for all the matches, and if you are a first-time diner, it is worth sitting back and observing what happens for the first few matches called before you dip your toe in the water and start betting. Overseas members should be aware of the currency and the current exchange rate in case they think they are betting in pence instead of pounds. It has indeed happened. The following day the matches are played, and there is usually keen interest in other scores, particularly if you have a wager riding on it. And once the matches are completed, the secretary will collate the results and identify who has come out ahead in their wagers and who is down. Those in the fortunate position of being ahead will receive a cheque for their winnings from the secretary. Those who are less fortunate will receive a demand from the secretary for a cheque to cover their losses. Winnings will have 10% deducted off for the staff fund. So that gives you a pretty good, I hope, basic understanding of what goes on at the dinner matches. However, there is one other aspect that is important, and that is a very spirituous drink called Kimmel, which answers to many different names. And every dusty old shelf of every British clubhouse worth its salt boasts at least one bottle of this precious liquid. Kimmel has a long history, and records go back to 1575. And the two best known brands are Wolfschmidt and Mentzendorf. Mentzendorf is now owned by Bollinger Champagne, as produced in Saumur in France. Evidently, none of the locals like it and disdainfully say only the British drink it. May I recommend, if Beau has brought a bottle, that you try it. The drink is synonymous, of course, with the Honourable Company of Edinburgh Golfers, Prestwick Golf Club, the R&A, and so many of the other clubs that do play or do have dinner matches. In Scotland, some number of years ago, when I had a wine business, I was responsible for selling 50% of the Kimmel that was sold in Scotland to Prestwick, while I had a friend who had a wine business in Edinburgh and sold 50% of the other remaining half to the Edinburgh Company of golfers. So the market was pretty well split up, whereas today more and more people do drink Kimmel. I think that Beau was asking me about what is happening in Scotland at the moment as far as COVID is concerned? Well, unlike England, we are actually able to play golf, although it is sad to see, and especially where I am situated in Turnberry and can look out over the course over to the sea, that in actual fact there are comparatively few players playing, and that they are only allowed to play in singles. We are hoping that this will change in the near future. We miss the game hugely. We miss our friends from America enormously, and we can only hope that this dreadful disease will be turned on its head and life hopefully will get back to normal. Again, I would like to wish you all, I have many, many friends with you. I miss not being there, and I am sure that you will have an enjoyable day. If I may give you a hint, and having played foursomes golf all my life, I found out when I was playing at La Quinta that the 15th hole was a problem as far as I was concerned, and I eventually learnt how to play it. And may I suggest to those of you who are playing tomorrow, the important thing is to keep the ball in play to allow your partner a shot. And if you are playing the 15th, for the gentleman that's driving, take a 5-iron and hit the ball up the middle so that your partner can put it on the green. You will find that you will win far more matches than you will lose by adopting this method. Bo, to all the guests, to all the members, have fun. Bye.